We always like to introduce and recognize our congressional delegation, the men and women that come down here and speak to us, the folks who are serving in Washington, D.C. on our behalf. And we have a very special guest today, a good friend of mine. He and I share the same high school as our alma mater. We were both Woodward Academy graduates. Brian hails from Peachtree City, Georgia, and went to college out in California at Pepperdine University. And he's always, ever since graduating from Pepperdine, he's always had a servant's heart. He's really always poured himself back into public service. He had the opportunity to work in the first Trump administration back in 2016 and continued to work alongside President Trump after he left office in 2020 and then back into office in 2024. But opportunity came along that journey, an opportunity for him to run for Congress in his own backyard presented itself, and he jumped on that opportunity, and he won a decisive race this past election cycle, and he is now representing us and the people of West Georgia in Congress right now, and he's doing a wonderful job. We're glad to have him. He is really making some big inroads there in Washington, D.C., and we'd love to hear the update on what's going on with him, but we really appreciate him being here and coming to speak to us this chamber. So please give a warm welcome to Congressman Brian Jack.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor. As he mentioned, we're both graduates of Woodward Academy, and for those in the gallery, I want you all to know our Lieutenant Governor was quite the athlete. He was 8 years ahead of me at Woodward, but the legend of Burt Jones persisted even when I was there. He went on to be the co-captain of the 2002 SEC championship-winning Georgia Bulldogs football team, and I'm incredibly grateful for your support when I launched my campaign for Congress. When you run for Congress, you know who your friends are. He endorsed me on day one, and it's something for which I will always be grateful. But before I begin, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge, and I'd like to also offer a round of applause for someone very special to many of you in the chamber. He is my best friend. He helped run my campaign, and I'd like to put on the record, which something that happened just about a month ago. He was nominated by our 47th president to serve as the Assistant Secretary of the Interior for Indian Affairs, Mr. Billy Kirkland. Congratulations. And I just know that if I had mentioned Senator Beach's name just then, the applause would have been twice as loud. So I'm very grateful to have time with you all today. I wanted to speak to the Senate because for me, the Georgia Senate has always been the cradle of leadership in Georgia. Mr. Lieutenant Governor, you may know, but the last 5 governors of our state started their careers here in the state Senate. Among your membership is a former congressman, Mr. Burns, who decided he wanted to get a promotion and ran for the state Senate instead of Congress, where I serve today. And our 39th president, Jimmy Carter, may he rest in peace, started his career in this very chamber. So it's no surprise that many of you are considered the next leaders of Georgia. Many of you are being talked about for different leadership opportunities in just a couple years' time. So I wanted to take the opportunity to visit with you all today to share with you what I've been up to in these first few months that I've been able to serve the people of Georgia and in Congress. I proudly served, as Burt noted, Georgia's 3rd congressional district. We've got 15 counties, and I overlap with many of you. But my journey with the state Senate started before I ran for Congress. As Lieutenant Governor noted, I worked for President Trump for 9 years before I got elected to Congress. I worked in his White House from the very first to very last day of his administration. And therein, I had an opportunity to work with some of y'all. Senator Albers came to see me a couple times. We worked on some deregulation issues. I got to know my home county state senator, Marty Harbin, incredibly well during that time. And I really enjoyed the opportunity to build a relationship with Senator Beach. President Trump often asks about you and really appreciate the relationship we were all able to build. When I ran for Congress, I had an opportunity to start building relationships with the state senators whose constituencies now overlap with mine. And I'd like to first acknowledge your Rules Committee Chairman, Mr. Brass. Matt Brass, on my first week, took me to a breakfast with some county leaders in Coweta County, and thereafter he took me to the College and Career Academy, which it really serves as a model for the state in trying to ensure that children coming up that want different types of career paths are able to adapt to the modern workforce. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to visit with you during that time. Senator Robertson and I probably were together every day toward the stretch. It seemed like every time we were at an event in Harris County or Muskogee County, we were always together. Senator Kennedy kindly opened his doors to me in Macon during my runoff, and I'm very grateful for that. And I especially enjoyed the opportunity to build a relationship with Senator Bearden. We talk mostly about sports, not about politics, and I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity to serve alongside you. But I wanted to today just use as an anecdote the relationship I have with Senator Marty Harbin, my home county senator, because I think it serves as an opportunity to learn how best we can work together at the state and federal level. After my nomination, and I should note Senator Harbin endorsed me in my runoff, incredibly grateful, but after my nomination, he mentioned to me that there's a company in Griffin, whose headquarters is also in Peachtree City, my hometown, and he said they've got a problem with the federal government. It's something you should know about. You're a candidate now, but you should come and learn about it. So Senator Harbin and I went over to a company called Renai America Corporation in Griffin, Georgia. Their headquarters is in Peachtree City, but in Griffin, about 3 or 4 years ago, they started manufacturing or started the assemblage of non-condensing tankless water heaters, a very specific type of water heater that's built in Griffin, Georgia. And they were concerned, this is last July, they were concerned about a regulation the Department of Energy was considering that would adjust the efficiency standards and effectively put out of business the type of water heater that they're manufacturing in Griffin. So Marty and I had a chance to go over, and when the doors opened at Renai America, a former state senator who served with Senator Harbison, Perry McGuire, a wonderful guy who served in this chamber from 93 to 97, welcomed us. He works for Renai now. And he walked us through this issue. And he said, this is something that needs to be on your radar. Fast forward to November. I get elected, President Trump gets elected, and they reach back out. Senator Harbin re-engages that conversation because we got to solve this issue. There's a regulation coming down the pipe. It's a federal reg that could put out of business a company that manufactures water heaters and employs 300 to 400 of our constituents in this specific area. So I had an opportunity to connect them with some of the Department of Energy people coming in during the transition, but we decided we needed legislative relief. And I'm just a freshman congressman, so it takes some time to get your feet wet, but I went to work on it immediately. And there's oftentimes when presidencies change hands, Congress can use this tool called the Congressional Review Act. And it enables us to repeal any regulation that an administration enforces within a 60 legislative day window. It just so happens that the regulation that came down on Renai America that would have put it out of business fell within that window just a few weeks ago. So I worked my tail off to make sure we could put this on the legislative calendar, and I'm proud to report, in working with the people across my conference in Congress, and likewise people from Renai, we were able to spend an entire legislative day, or legislative afternoon, I should say, passing a bill in the House to repeal this regulation. We got 11 Democrats to make it a bipartisan solution to a federal regulation that would have put out of business 400 people in my congressional district. And I am incredibly proud of that, but that relationship started because a member of this body engaged me, someone running for office, or you could engage any of the members that represent you, and said, we've got an issue here at home that you've got to fix. Use your tools to fix it for us. And that's exactly the type of effectiveness and efficiency that my entire delegation, everyone that represents you, wants to bring to this specific 119th Congress. I don't want to speak much longer, but I do want to close by saying that's the nature of what we're trying to do here. We share constituencies. We share the same problems. Many folks reach out to y'all with problems that I can address, and likewise, Senator Harbin, we got to work on that 74-54 interchange. People are reaching out in my hometown about problems that fall within your domain. But the long and short of it is we all have servants' hearts. We all put our name on the ballot because we want to solve problems for our constituents, and I'm so proud to have the opportunity to represent the incredible people of Georgia's 3rd Congressional District in Congress. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.